Hello and welcome to Unacademy IAS. Starting 1st May 2026, the United Arab Emirates will be withdrawing from OPEC and OPEC Plus. What are the reasons behind it? And what is the impact of this decision on India? Let's decode all of it. But before I start, here is a very important announcement. Right now, the Unacademy IAS courses are available at the lowest ever prices of 16,999. Those interested in enrolling, use the link provided in the description to check out the details. And remember, this particular offer is available only till the end of tomorrow. And whatever is the price mentioned in the website, use the code IAS English to get the discounted price and also get an extension of up to 6 months free of cost. Let me begin the discussion. OPEC stands for Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. It is a group of countries that was formed back in the year 1960. And the objective was very simple. These group of countries will coordinate with each other and will basically produce crude oil and supply crude oil to the international market and ensure that there is a stability of prices in the international market. The United Arab Emirates joined the grouping in the year 1967. And according to the latest estimates, OPEC group of countries account for 50% of total global crude oil production. But because of the crisis that has been happening in West Asia, the production as well as the export of crude oil from these group of countries has been affected. As a result of this, the latest estimates show that the OPEC group of countries account for around 40% of total global crude oil production. Apart from OPEC, there is also a group of countries which is called as OPEC Plus. OPEC Plus has the OPEC members plus other 10 countries including Russia. And this OPEC Plus was formed back in the year 2016. These are certain important basic points. Now let's come to the crux of the discussion. Why did the United Arab Emirates decide to withdraw from OPEC and OPEC Plus? The most important two reasons are: one, the issue of quota that is decided within OPEC, and the second, the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Let's decode both of these particular issues. First one, quota. I said the OPEC is a group of countries. It is also known as a cartel of countries. Now, within the OPEC, it is de facto led by Saudi Arabia. And this OPEC group of countries imposed restriction, that is the term quota, regarding how much is the total volume of crude oil that can be produced and supplied by the member countries within the OPEC. The problem that the UAE generally says is that UAE has invested huge amount of money. It has invested huge capital in developing the infrastructure that is associated with production of crude oil, and it has the capacity to produce crude oil to the extent of 4.8 million barrels per day. But the quota, the latest quota that has been assigned, that has been imposed on the United Arab Emirates, is restricting the production of crude oil in this to 3.5 million barrels per day. So have a look at the problem here. They have a higher capacity, but they are not allowed to produce 4.8. They will have to restrict their production to 3.5. So they want to produce more, they are not allowed to. This will have an impact on the total amount of revenues generated by UAE. So this has been a point of friction within OPEC group for many years now. It has raised up right this particular issue multiple times, but every time it has stated that focus of OPEC is on stabilizing the supply, so it has accepted the quota that was decided earlier. But this time the problem is on other front as well. That is the blockade that has been imposed in the Strait of Hormuz. For more than 40 days now, a lot of these particular countries, their production capacity has been hurt, has been affected because of the war that is happening in West Asia. So their production capacity hurt, the exports are hurt because of the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz that has been imposed by Iran. So these countries which depend more on generating revenues by exporting crude oil, right, their revenues also have been hurt. Right, so these are the two main reasons why the United Arab Emirates has decided to withdraw from OPEC and OPEC plus. Now, what is going to be the impact of it? I will divide the impact into two headings. One is the short term impact, and the second one is the long term impact. The short term impact is one, it is going to create volatility in the market, and that has already happened. The crude oil prices have become volatile now. And the second important point is once the UAE withdraws from the OPEC and OPEC plus, will suddenly its exports increase in the international market? Because once you are going to withdraw from the OPEC and OPEC plus, there is no imposition of quota on you. In fact, UAE has announced that they are going to increase the production capacity. So, will that suddenly change the amount of crude oil they are going to supply? It is unlikely to happen. The reason is very simple, the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. As long as this particular blockade issue is resolved and the transportation of the vessels which are carrying the crude oil is restored, it is unlikely to create any kind of a huge impact in terms of the supply of crude oil to the international market. So, in the short term, you may not see a sudden change, right, in terms of the impact of this particular decision. But definitely, yes, you will see the impact in long term. What kind of impact? In the long term, we are assuming the things in the Middle East will become normal. The production capacity will reach to its, right, let's say highest level. That is where UAE will start to produce more and export more and more to the international market. And mind you, these are the countries which are majorly dependent on crude oil revenues. So the UAE will produce more, export more, but please understand this might actually lead to the price war. The price war between multiple countries. This is one very important point. It will lead to a price war because it has happened in the past as well. It will continue to happen with UAE, which is one of the major producers, which accounted for more than 10% of the crude oil production within OPEC. If it moves out of OPEC and starts producing more, other countries will start to compete, supply will increase, and this will lead to a price war. Any examples in the past? I'll just give you one example. Back in the year 2014 to 2016, the crude oil prices in the international market suddenly fell. At one point of time, the crude oil prices were hovering at around $110 per barrel. They fell down, crashed to over $30 per barrel. What was the reason behind it? On the one side, United States of America started producing more and more, that is the shale oil, supply increased. And on the other side, the OPEC group of countries did not cut their production. They continued to produce the same level which is allocated under quota. This led to a supply glut in the international market. And that led to sudden crash in the market prices of the crude oil. So it will lead to a price war where these producers will try to compete and get a major market share. But in addition to this, in the long term, there is also doubts over whether OPEC will be able to survive this or not. Because if one country, which is a major producer of crude oil, can withdraw itself and will start supplying more and more, focus on its national interest. That is the statement given by the representative of UAE, by the way. Their argument is this decision has been done keeping in mind the national interest to protect the customers in the global market. If a major producer can withdraw and start producing more and more, what is going to hold the other countries within the OPEC grouping? Because until now, Saudi Arabia, which is the de facto leader of the grouping, has been using excess production or producing more and more to penalize the cheater countries. That is, let's say a country has a quota, it will cheat and produce more than the quota in order to generate more revenues. Saudi Arabia will also increase its production, increase the supply, crash the prices, reduce the prices in the international market. So as to right, ensure that this cheating country will not be able to earn more revenues. So what is going to hold the other countries now? They also might start withdrawing from the OPEC grouping itself. So these are, right, the short term as well as long term impact. Now coming to the most important part of the discussion, what is going to be the impact on India? India is, right, the third largest consumer or importer of crude oil. According to the latest estimates, more than 85% of the requirements in India are satisfied by importing crude oil from the international market. So, no doubt, if the competition becomes tough, if there is too much of supply, crude oil prices will crash. It is going to provide benefit to India. The crude oil imports will become cheaper. It will help India. And moreover, 40% of the total requirements in India are met by importing from OPEC, and the UAE accounts for around 10% of total, right, requirements of crude oil in India. So lower the crude oil prices, it is going to provide benefit to India. Import will become cheaper. The impact of inflation will also be reduced. But there is one more aspect of the discussion that you need to take care of. With global crude oil prices crashing, will it always provide only benefit? There is a concern as well. And in the context of India, the most important concern in this context is if the countries which are majorly dependent on crude oil revenues, if their revenues will go down, it will have an impact on the remittances that India receives. According to the World Bank report, India is the largest inward remittances recipient. India receives a huge amount of inward remittances. And according to the RBI report, recent RBI report, 38% of inward remittances received by India are from Gulf Cooperation countries or GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council countries. If their earnings, if the economic activity in these countries goes down, then it will also have an impact on the inward remittances received by India. So these are the various aspects of the discussion that is happening in the context of UAE withdrawing from OPEC and OPEC plus that you need to understand. That's it from my side in today's session. If you have benefited from the discussion that I've made so far, do not forget to hit the like button. And if you're yet to join the Unacademy IAS YouTube channel, kindly do it right now. Thank you. Have a great day.